was close to midnight when the fishermen's boats faded into the darkness, leaving only the wind over the ocean, and the glimmering stars merged with the small tides lapping Oak Island. Picture yourself there, standing on the shore of an island that looks like any other yet, guards one of the most stubborn, debated, and mysterious tales ever told. For more than 200 years, people from every walk of life have come here with a single question in mind. Does treasure really lie beneath this ground? Treasure capable of changing the course of many lives? Each time a team approached the island, a new theory surfaced. Templar treasure, pirate booty, Shakespearean manuscripts, even relics linked to the Holy Grail. Diaries overflow with notes on nights spent pumping water non-stop, guard shifts to protect costly machinery, legal disputes among partners worn down by debt. In these moments, the plot thickens because the treasure pit is no longer a physical place, but an emotional catalyst. The protagonists battle not just mud or tides. They confront their own ambition, vanity, and that sense of incompleteness that sometimes drives us to stake everything on a single bet just to feel alive. There is nothing shameful in this. Indeed, it is a mirror reflecting the human condition with brutal clarity. The pit became, in effect, a mirror for our aspirations. The more elusive it was, the more symbolism it gathered. During the 20th century, for instance, the rise of the Cold War gave shape to the idea that the site held ancient ciphers useful to world powers. Chronology gaps didn't matter. The very notion of a strategic secret fit seamlessly into a larger cultural imagination. Or even more intriguing, is the real treasure the thirst for discovery that pushes us to dig in the first place? At the origin of it all is a shallow depression in the earth, noticed, so the legend goes, by 3 boys of the 18th century. Fueled by romantic intuition, they began to dig and soon uncovered wooden beams set at regular intervals, evidence of organized, deliberate work. That detail, simple yet eloquent, became the perfect bait for collective imagination. If someone had hidden something, they had protected it carefully. In no time, financiers, teams of engineers, improvised adventurers, and even would-be US presidents jotted the same desire into their journals. Uncover the truth about that pit. The money pit, as some documents still call it, is not just a hole in the ground. It is a labyrinth of stories. In the heart of the 19th century, crews sank parallel shafts to bypass the flood traps that channeled seawater into the main site. Steam pumps, drainage tunnels, even upside-down boats were deployed to block the subterranean channels. Each generation brought new technology and fresh hope, yet the muddy sediment and the ingenuity of whoever designed the defense system always seemed one step ahead. There is something profoundly human about staring into the unknown and layering it with meanings. There comes a point, however, when digging is no longer merely about hope and wonder. It turns into an exercise in perseverance and at times obsession. When you read the technical reports from recent digs, you find slices of everyday life with a near cinematic flavor. Engineers celebrating the recovery of an ancient nail, only to discover hours later that it belongs to the wrong stratigraphic layer. Divers unsung by the media logging 9 dark high-pressure hours to inspect a previously unmapped cavity. Shadows that look like wooden crates, reflections that form cross-like shapes, rock formations interpreted now as tangible reality, now as projections of our collective subconscious. And as these mental scenes roll, you realize the pit is rarely alone on screen. Beside it are fatigued faces, timid smiles, technical jargon, and dreams whispered under one's breath. Maybe it's time to shut the site down, they murmur. Still, the trees rustle as they always have, heedless of human plans. And there, in that natural calm, the myth deepens. Trunks creak like ancient castle doors, resin scent mingles with salt, creating a sensory alchemy that reminds you how thin the line is between legend and daily life. So while your mind drifts to ciphered maps, you realize the treasure already exists. It is the gap between the whisper of the wind and the roar of drill rigs, between the island's simple existence and our need to assign it a secret. Yet inevitably, some detail, a new ground-penetrating radar reading, a wooden tablet with indecipherable carvings, a mysterious scrap of parchment, reignites the engines. It's as though the site has its own heartbeat that syncs with those who observe it. That's why it's hard to stay indifferent. Even if you never pick up a shovel, you feel the ground shift under your metaphorical feet. In that mix, the audience at home finds space to ask bigger questions. Why are we so fascinated by the idea of treasure? What, in our own stories, drives us to chase the prospect of an unexpected windfall? Here, the pit stops being a simple hole and becomes an open narrative. Two people stare at the same blurry smudge and see two different stories. This proves that beyond any material hypothesis, Oak Island holds an intangible treasure, the chance to reinterpret, debate, imagine. Meanwhile, curious onlookers remain on the docks wondering if this time will be the breakthrough. Every device lowered underground, underwater cameras, sonar, magnetometers, offers granular, ambiguous images. If you were a filmmaker, you could already hear the hum of cameras, smell the briny air mixed with generator fuel, feel the footsteps on rickety, damp wooden walkways. In every conversation about the island, there's a magical moment when someone suggests quitting. A little way from the main dig, the vegetation has adapted to the constant traffic of heavy machinery. In light of all this, you might wonder, what's truly at stake? If tomorrow a chest overflowing with gold surfaced, how much would history really change? Curators would display it in high-tech museums, documentaries and lectures would bloom, but in the end, human curiosity would scout a new horizon. That is why the Oak Island pit is more than an enigma. It is a cautionary tale about our endless dissatisfaction and, at the same time, our marvelous capacity for hope. We thus stand at a dialectical crossroads. Is it the mystery that keeps the search alive, or the search that keeps the mystery alive? There is no definitive answer, but the space between the two is exactly where wonder is born. It is the same space we inhabit as children, when we first ask what hides in the dark under the bed. Oak Island is, after all, curiosity's perpetual childhood, scaled up to geological proportions. As this reflection draws to a close, imagine the camera soaring over the site at dawn. The pink glow of the sky reveals cranes, drainage pipes, and makeshift tents of research teams, as if they were props on a vast film set. In the distance, a siren signals the start of another work shift. The island stirs once more, and you, viewer, sense that the story isn't a T-over because the treasure isn't a T defined by a lock or a coordinate, but by the ongoing tension between what we know and what we yearn to know. So I'll take my leave of your imagination, leaving you with one final thought. We may never reach the bottom of the pit, but every shovelful of earth reminds us that the most fascinating ground to explore is the mind of the one who digs. Until the next twilight over Oak Island, carry with you the question that has moved generations. If you could choose, would you truly seek the treasure, or the reason you seek it? See you soon, and happy hunting for mysteries.